Hey guys, this is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and in today's 15th anniversary video, this is going to be a 15th anniversary video to the 2006 Disney Pixar film that came out on June 9th, 2006. And I also remember seeing this movie in the theaters too. This Pixar movie was also the first Pixar movie I ever saw in theaters. Yeah. And it's also a Pixar franchise as well. And that's going to be on the 2006 Pixar movie, Cars. Yep, that's right. Cars officially turns 15 years old today. Yep. So Cars is basically where you got this race car named Lightning McQueen. And of course, you got other characters like Mater, played by Larry the Cable Guy. And of course, Lightning McQueen's played by Owen Wilson. So this is the Pixar movie that came out on June 9, 2006 during Pixar's 20th anniversary. And and like I said, I remember seeing this movie in the theaters, and as well as and Cars was also the first Pixar movie I ever saw in theaters. And this DVD right here for Cars is the full screen DVD. And speaking of physical media, Cars was actually the last Pixar movie ever to be released on VHS, because there's proof that the Cars VHS is actually real. Some people may think that The Incredibles was the last Pixar movie to be released on VHS, but Cars is actually the last Pixar VHS release. Oh yeah, and especially Cars was also the last Pixar DVD to be THX certified, because it says right here on the back of the DVD it's THX certified. The THX trailer that featured at the beginning of Cars is actually the text trailer, like the first text trailer. Not the extended version featured on disc 2 of Finding Nemo. But yeah, Cars is actually one of my favorite Pixar movies. The first Cars, I think, is the best one out of all of them. And Cars 2, I heard many people think that Cars 2, the sequel, was a bad sequel, and it's considered Pixar's worst movie. But I thought Cars 2 was okay. Not one of Pixar's best, but Cars 2 was an okay sequel. I still prefer the first Cars movie. And yeah, Cars 3, I actually did see Cars 3 in theaters as well. Dad took me to see Cars 3 in theaters back in 2017. And of course, Cars 3 had the one with Jackson Storm played by Armie Hammer. And of course, Randy Newman's music score from the first Cars, as well as Cars 3. Michael Giacchino actually replaced Randy Newman in the second Cars movie. And of course, Bonnie Hunt is also in the Cars franchise as well. Bonnie Hunt plays this blue car named Sally. And of course, Larry the Cable Guy is very hilarious as Mater, and I just don't really get the hate on Mater, because I don't really care what anyone says. I still think Mater is a very hilarious character from Cars. I still think Mater's funny. And the short films on the DVD for Cars includes the short film released in front of Cars in theaters, One Man Band, as well as the Cars short film Mater and the Ghost Light. Oh yeah, and of course, Paul Newman is also in the first Cars as well. Paul Newman, he plays Doc Hudson, and also features even the first Cars also has a great soundtrack too. It's got great songs as well, like a very cool soundtrack by Rascal Flatts, Sheryl Crow, and John Mayer, and James Taylor. Yeah, I think Rascal Flatts did Life is a Highway. Oh, and Brad Paisley, the country singer, he performs some of the songs in Cars. I also thought it was pretty cool how during the credits scene, I thought it was pretty cool how Pixar actually made Cars versions of their previous movies, like Toy Story, A Bug's Life, and Monsters, Inc. Like calling Toy Car Story Monster Trucks, Inc., as well as A Bug's Life. It's the same thing, A Bug's Life, because Volkswagen Bug is a type of car. And of course, the original main cast members, Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Billy Crystal, John Goodman, and Dave Foley, they all return as the car and truck versions of Woody, Buzz, Mike Wazowski, Sully, and Flick. And of course, John Ratzenberger, who plays Mac in Cars, he also plays the Cars versions of the other characters that John Ratzenberger voiced. And of course, Mac is confused by all this, and that they're using the same thing over and over again. Yeah. And Cars was also dedicated to the memory of Joe Ranft. Like Joe Ranft, who co-directed Cars. John Lasseter was the one who directed Cars, and Joe Ranft co-directed Cars until he died in a car crash, sadly. And so, Cars was dedicated to his memory, featuring clips of the characters he voiced, like Heimlich from A Bug's Life, Lenny from Toy Story, and Wheezy in Toy Story 2. Here is the disc for Cars. Oh, I almost forgot. Michael Keaton is actually in this movie too. Like Michael Keaton, he plays Chick Hicks, and yeah, because it's got really talented voice actors as well as like some guest stars that made cameos in this film. And yeah, so Cars is definitely a childhood movie of mine, and definitely the best one out of all of them. Yep, and the movie's rated G for general audiences, and the running time is approximately 116 minutes. Let's see. Oh yeah, and plus I think Cars was also one of the first Pixar movies to have an after credits scene. Yeah, which is pretty cool. And Cars was also one of the last Pixar movies to use the 1995 to 2007 Walt Disney Pictures CGI logo. Ratatouille was actually the last Pixar movie to use that logo. And yeah, because, everything about this movie is really good, and plus, I heard Cars also has like one of the longest running times of a Pixar movie, because the first Cars is like nearly 2 hours long. It's like, because I think Cars was at first the longest running Pixar movie with the longest running time, but I think Incredibles 2 hadn't beat it. I think Incredibles 2 became the number one longest Pixar movie. Cars is number 2, I think. But yeah, so I think that's all there is to say about Cars. So with that being said, happy 15th anniversary to Cars. And so that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying, goodbye everybody, and that's about it.